All right, so today's video, we're watching a gold 4 tank on PC playing Sigma, Zarya, Hazard, and Doom. So we got 4 tanks being played, which is interesting because I feel like there's like multiple different playstyles being played here, so I'm curious to see why. And you say, during the first round, I started off as Doomfist, but realized that Doom would not work well against the enemy team, so I swapped to Sigma, and we managed to push it all the way to the end with less than a minute to spare. While we were defending, the enemy tank swapped to Sigma, and I didn't want to have a Sigma off. I decided to swap between a few heroes, which allowed the other team to push to the end with 1 minute and 40 seconds. At the start of the third round, as we were attacking, I decided that I would just go Sigma, because it was working out, and we managed to push all the way to third point. Okay, that's legitimately just a description of the game. All right, so we'll see what's going wrong here. All right, good start. Just standing there. Oh, you go right in, don't you? All right, so to give you an idea, if anybody doesn't know this, it takes 15 seconds to see what the other team comp is, okay? You were 1 second away from just being able to hit tab and go, hey, I probably shouldn't slam into this team. Now, coming from somebody who's also not, my Doomfist is certainly a hero I can select, I might do the same thing. So what I can tell you is this is not the play. I would say give it an extra second just to see what they have so you know not to feed in like that. Also, you didn't use your block.
I've come too far to stop now.
Wonderful start. All right, on to Sigma now. That was quick. That was quick. Okay, nice eat. Good job getting some of that early charge. I don't mind Sigma against this. I do think Rhine against Sigma is a little bit more difficult, but on Circuit Royale, you get a little bit more wiggle room. So I don't mind the pick here. I think Circuit Royale is just a really good Sigma map to begin with. Chasing the Lucio down. I see you trying to body block. Didn't go well. A little bit of a target priority note here. I would actually go forward here rather than try to chase the Lucio. I think the Lucio is going to be the least of your problems. So I'd rather see you kind of like create opportunity for your teammates here, rather than just kind of sitting there and going for a Lucio. I think you would have been better off just like killing like their Bastion. Now, obviously your team might win this, but I think that would have been a little bit better of an option. The Lucio uses beat anyway, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult fight to win. Yeah, Sigma on this map is very, very strong. It's because of sightlines. He's just a very, very strong map. All right. Oh. Nothing happening. Torb. Yeah, you know what? I respect the Torb turret kills. Hey, as someone, you know, you got 2 options there. Shoot the Torb turret in the small room that won't affect your team, or go main, and you went with the Torb turret. But I still respect it. Good job by your team there. You have your ultimate now. I would use this to win. My only concern is that Reinhardt's gonna charge and pin you. Or not pin you, shatter you. But I would look to be proactive here at Sigma. Like, very proactive. Once they drop down. Also, don't let your shield break down much, especially when they're not running the Widow. Very nice of the Bastion to just shoot into you. That was very nice. A little bit of a tip here. You don't need to walk into a Torb turret to kill a Torb turret. Just to kind of point that out, like, you don't need to... I've seen you do it multiple times. Like, you can play distance and kill Torb turrets. So the reason why I mentioned that is it didn't matter here, but you got off the point right there, and that sometimes that could be the make or break. So I want to see you get in the habit of just killing it at the range and just staying on the cart there, because you basically stopped having vision of their team top right. Now, once again, their team didn't play this correctly, so I think this is a situation where it worked because of what the other team did, not because of what you did was a good play. So I want you to sometimes like look at that and recognize that it's better to probably pay attention to the top right, see what they're going to do, and if you want to kill a Torb turret, just shoot out of that range. You don't need to walk right up to it. So, but their team kind of hecked that up. Wonderful block on that shatter, big slam. I don't know why their Rhine did that, but hey. Yep, Brock.
Hello there.
That was weird. Because, like, their Rhine could have just came from a different angle and shattered the cart and then stopped the cart. Instead, the Rhine gave the point for free and then shattered nothing. Just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Love to see it, right?
Hello.
Love to see it.
Barrier is split. Barrier has been overwhelmed.
All right, a little bit of overshield. I'm okay with this. Gotta be careful with their Bastion now because you use that, though. We don't know if the Bastion... Nope, they're there. Just shoot at the Bastion. That's the correct way to go about it. All right. Also, what perk did Sigma choose? I don't even know. Probably the rock one, right? That's the one I usually choose. Yeah, the Rhine you're going against is way too aggro. Nice. Like, they're not playing corners. They just play in the middle of the open and probably expect to be healed. Remember, when you're playing against a Bastion comp, you playing corners is like 10 times more important. Don't stand in the middle of the open. Don't stand in the middle of the open. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I see what you're doing. Huge ult. Good play. Follow up on the Bastion. Yep, Brock on the Rhine. That Rhine has some ultimate choices, that's for sure. Good sequence there. I have no problem with that one, actually. Thought you played that well. Aggressive. Good backline pressure. Be careful right now of watching out for the Reinhardt to be really aggro on you. Once again, you want to play your distance against a Rhine just to be careful. I don't like this little small room for you there, is what I'm saying. You know Rhine doesn't have Shatter. One thing you can do here with your shield is throw your shield behind the Rhine, so the way it's harder for the Rhine to be healed. That's what I would do in that situation. Yep, Brock. Okay. Oh yeah, it shows the rock one here. Little bit aggro, yep. So I want you to, like, one thing about Sigma, okay? And I think a lot of people don't do this on Sigma, is you need to understand when it's time to reset. That was one of those moments where it just feels like you weren't ready to reset the team fight at all at any point, and you end up getting yourself rolled because of it. So I would prefer to see you play that a little bit differently in that situation, is all I'm saying. When you get to, like, here, and you get the kills, the best thing you can do is just kind of back up a little bit to see vision. I think one of your problems on Sigma, and, like, it's not even that you're playing bad, it's that you like to play really in front of their face. And you need to understand sometimes, like, and I'll let this run through now for a bit. Like, you need to understand that when you're playing against a team as Sigma, that your number one weakness is when people get close to you, right? Like, and obviously, you know, you have perks now that can kind of help with that. It looks like you did get the melee perk, and the melee perk is a good perk. I don't mind it. I like the flow one a little bit more just because of my playstyle. So, like, now when you hit 5 shots, you can melee, etc. But I just think, like, recognize when you have a team fight in a good spot, and then just back up, play to live. So, yeah. Yeah, but, like, even, like, having the melee perk, I think the melee perk is, like, is a perk you have as an addition to, like, prevent them from getting to you, not running into them. Does that make sense? And I think that's, like, like, it's more along the lines of it prevents the team from basically backline pressuring you. Yeah, Brock. Yep, you can eat the Torbo. Kind of a good Warrior ult, if I'm gonna be real with you. What's a rank? Gold. This is gold. Okay, you have an ultimate now. You don't even... That was a... Wow. I couldn't tell you why that Bastion ulted. Even if that Bastion gets kills right there, that ultimate still does, like, nothing for, like, the overall game. If you're a Bastion player or playing Bastion, try not to use that ult. This is your ult time, and you see it right in front of you. There it is. Good ult. Good location. Great job. Big slam, but I think this Ryan will die either way before they get you. Yep. Now just slow play it. Put your shield up. Stay near cart. Keep your shield there. Kill Torb turret. Yep. You can be a little bit aggro now. Now just stay on cart. Get vision of what they're going to do. Yep, Rock. Yep, you can go for Bastion, you're fine. Good job. Great ultimate, though. The ultimate was good. Yep. Sometimes you use ult so people don't make the waiting for Overwatch 3 jokes for keeping hold of it. I mean, listen, if somebody's giving you crap for not using your Bastion ultimate, that's a different story. Honestly, I'm okay if my Bastion doesn't use their ultimate on the whole time. That ultimate's like, okay. Still on Reinhardt, which we know that, based off of the story you told us, that will change eventually. Yep, Ryan went right back to spawn. So there you go. Are you getting Sigma versus Sigma? We are, because you... Now, you said you didn't want to play Sigma versus Sigma, which is interesting. I love playing Sigma versus Sigma. It's such like a... Yup, rocks. Double the rocks right there. So in this matchup, it's all just about getting cooldowns out from the other Sigma and making sure that you're constantly like watching for what Sigma's doing. If Sigma uses Eat, you can be more aggressive. If Sigma using Eat, you have Rock. Try to interrupt the Rock so they don't get that, right? There you go. Error 44, thanks for the 9 months of tier 1. Thank you for the
amazing content, streamer. Figured I say something other than the almost a year joke.
Barrier has been overwhelmed.
Yeah. So far, so good. We're waiting. A shield. No Eat. It's been good so far. It's basically just you and the Sigma doing what you're supposed to do. Your Bastion gets a little bit too aggro. Maybe go for the Moira? You can get the Moira here. No. Okay, so that whole sequence was really interesting to me. So this whole sequence is interesting because, like, you're in a spot here where I watched you get close to people the whole game, and then the one time that you can get close to somebody to kill them, you don't get close to them. So, like, I'm watching you kind of do the opposite of, like, decision-making that you would normally see in that situation, which is fine. Every rank plays differently, so I'm not too worried about that. But, like, you have a free kill and a Moira who use Fade, so you can at least force that out. Then instead, you run back into the team. You push into their team with cooldown. So what you want to do, even though that's your Kitsune, is play safe. Like, make sure you just, like, play to live, survive it, and then go for your ult. Instead, you try to force a play. So I would, in that situation, I would be saving my Sigma ultimate until my HP is at a reasonable one. That's why I went, don't do that. And then you did it, and then you fell over is because your HP wasn't quite there. So next time around, just try to recognize that you don't have to force a play. I'd rather you save your Sigma ultimate on your retake and be able to use that against what they're doing instead of just swapping off to a different hero because you lost to basically a play you shouldn't have lost, is what I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Out of curiosity, when you go Roadhog here, what was like the decision-making behind going Roadhog against what they're running? Because I look at their team comp and I go, this ain't gonna go well. But maybe you're just like, maybe you have good experience going against it, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, but like the reason why they fell over due to the low HP was not because of the supports missing heals. It was just because, like, there was a lot happening and they went out of position temporarily. See, that's kind of what I expected out of Roadhog. So, yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's why my question was, why Roadhog? That was the quickest Roadhog gameplay I've seen. Yep. I mean, Zarya's fine. I mean, listen, every rank plays differently, but I know Zarya's been popping off, so I'm not going to go with anything. I will say, on paper, I go back and look at their comp again. I think you're going up against one of Zarya's hardest counters, which is Bastion. Zarya is really good. You're like, yeah, but Zarya can charge me. Yeah, but, like, Zarya can also shred your bubbles to the point where you never have bubbles, and then you can't survive long team fights. So I'll see how it goes, but I just want to make sure I don't get you in the mindset of, like, I think that Zarya is good against Sigma, and I'm going Zarya purely for the Sigma. Because that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, is that you're basically trying to kill the Sigma, so you go Zarya, but then, like, I'm concerned because Bastion shreds Zarya's bubbles, so we'll see. Anyway, that's more of, like, what could happen. But I do know Zarya's also been shredding a lot right now, so it might be one of those situations where in gold right now, even if the Bastion on paper is really good against you, maybe you just can find more value on Zarya right now with where Zarya's been. I mean, that Bastion, like, looking at your position right now, you might fall over very soon, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, there it is. Let's talk about this. You have no bubbles, so why are you running into the middle of the open? This goes back to what I've talked about a lot, where the reason why a lot of tank players fall over in ranks is generally because of position. Your position, once again, is not good here, so therefore you're going to fall over. Hence why you falled over as Zarya. You had no bubbles, you didn't play corners, and you ran right in front of their whole team. It's not going to go well, so you need to play corners. On to Hazard now. You're really trying to find the answer against this team, aren't you? Are you ready for this? It's your positioning, and it's on you. It's not because of what they're running. It's purely by positioning. Thankfully, you have some ults here, because the way you're playing this again is really aggro. This is 100% on you and your playstyle. You're not ever... The problem you're running into right now is you're never prioritizing playing cover, right? So you could have the best supports in the world. They're still going to struggle to try to keep you at full HP. Like the problem is that you're constantly going in there and you're not thinking about, okay, I need to survive this ultimate. Should I go to the left and hide behind a wall? Should I go here? Should I go there? No, you're just going, I'm going to run it down mid. And if my supports don't heal me, well, unlucky. But like, they're just, you can't survive that. So you need to play corners, play cover. The Sigma went the float perk, which I like. Yep. Is Ramattra a better pick for him? I mean, Ramattra, like, it wouldn't even matter on Ramattra, because if you're running it down mid, it's the same problem. I thought Sigma was fine. You want me to, like, just to pause for a quick second? I think Sigma's the fine tank selection here. You have a good shield, you have a good rotation, you have a lot of damage down hallways. I think that is the correct choice. Like, I think Sigma was the correct choice against what they were running, because, like, you have so much utility and cooldowns. But the problem is that they just run it down mid. It's a cover issue, and that's going to be the number one issue the whole time, right? Like, you're going to have moments of, like, where you're going to play well, right? But I still feel like cover's the... Like, right now, I would be defaulting to hide behind a wall. I didn't mean to switch scenes here, but like when you're here, right? When you're here, right? When you're here, my reaction would have been to do this. Fall back to the right. See this? Fall back to the right. Safe. Health pack if you need it. It's like a mini, but it can be enough. And you play corner, right? And then you go in and you make a play after. But if you keep doing this, you're going to keep falling over. It doesn't matter what tank you're on. Right? Doesn't matter what tank you're on. I like playing aggressive, but you need to know when to fall back. You just play too all in. That's your problem. You play too all in every time. Good job by your teammates. This is fine. You already won the team fight. Good job. Okay. No, I don't think they blamed the support. No, I during the description, I don't think support was blamed for anything. Nope. I think it was they were just explaining the game how it went, and I'm explaining to them. I'm explaining to them that you're basically. You've probably heard me mention it in. You've probably heard me mention it in Spectatings before. Like, your supports want to heal you, but like if you play in the middle of the open and you don't play cover, like your supports cannot keep you up after a certain point. That's a throwback, Chrissy. There you go. I mean, I can reiterate it again. You got to play walls and cover. If you play in the middle of the open, this is what's going to happen. Doesn't matter what tank you're on, you're going to fall over. Holy crap, these are massive Ramattra, like, gloves. You see that? Like, what the? Those are massive. And there you go. So yeah, I mean, like real talk. If you just like play positioning, you're gonna have a much better time. This is just not good positioning. You do. All right, here we go. Yeah, but now they let you preview all the skins, so you can at least see like the weapon skin and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, Sigma, I think we're back to where you should have been on. Yep. There you go. Play cover. Watch out. Little bit of a note here. Just be careful of when you go for your eat right there. That's why I said watch out. I like the idea, but you can do that at a different angle. And like you need to play to basically not get rocked. So in that situation, I'm playing not to get rocked. So. There you go. Rock. Looks like you went with the melee store, which I can see. I mean, I don't love it as much. I feel like the levitate here, but good block, good cleanse. I mean, right there you kind of defaulted to cover, which is nice. Yep. Behind you, cart. Just shield this off if you need to. You don't need to. Okay. Kill the Ana. Okay, a little bit of a tip here on Sigma aim, because I used to struggle with this on Sigma when I first started playing Sigma. Your projectile. So I have moments like that against Ana too, and what I've learned is just predict where the Ana is gonna go and just aim in that spot rather than trying to like hit scan aim. So what you were doing there is you were kind of like trying to hit scan, and Sigma's a projectile. So one of the hardest adjustments when you go from playing other heroes that are more hit scan based, which is basically the best way to describe it, is where your aim when you're hit scan, wherever your crosshair is where your shots are going to go. When you're on projectile, you have a travel speed, which means it's not necessarily going to, it's going to go to where you're aiming at, but it's going to go there eventually. It's not going to be immediate. So in that situation, I think you're just better off just trying to predict where the Ana is going to go rather than trying to just accurately aim on the Ana. Eventually it will work. You said that was some grade A dodging by the Ana. What I'm saying is you just basically hold your shot on one side of the prediction, and then you'll be good to go. Because you're going to have the hyperspheres do damage regardless. It's just, that's the issue I ran into when I first started doing it. Yep. It's just not a hit scan. So you have to just basically, you have to predict your shots. I ult this. Yep, good ult. The back right one is the correct play. Yep. I don't like you didn't follow up though. I would have liked to make sure you guarantee the kill on the Ana. You got the kill, but you never know what can happen there in case the other support helps. All right. I wonder if their Ana had the nano perk. They could have nanoed the Torb and then survived that. All right. That was certainly a Torbalt decision. Good block with your shield. Yep, Rock. Nice job. I'm going to say the double nano could have saved the Torb and the Ana, and then maybe they win that, you know? They're on Zarya now, which... not ideal for you, but you still have a timing. Nice melee boop. That was awesome. Yeah, I feel like the melee boop is really good. It just doesn't fit my playstyle as much. So I like the levitate one. It gives me more map advantage. Huh? Yeah, you have a stored up melee. That's good. Behind you is a Moira. One thing that you do a lot of sometimes, and like you went back, is you'll look away from the team and you'll kind of just run away. I want you to be a little bit careful of that type of play. I've watched you look away from people many times, and we want to get you out of that habit. I think it would be a really good play. So don't just stand there and then turn to somebody else. Like, put your shield up there. You did it later on, but like that is where you could just fall over immediately. They have an Ana, right? What happens if they throw a random sleep during that? Then you get slept. You said he forgot a perk. I don't think he actually forgot a perk because we have the melee one. It's actually just a glitch with the replay viewer. So if you look on the bottom right, the perk actually shows the long range rock, and then we know they have the melee store because you can see the melee one there, but it's just broken. It's just a UI bug. I watched the Kiriko player where I was like, did they pick perks? And then they did picking perks, and they confirmed they did. But the replay viewer is a little bit broken on that one. So if you look, like they definitely have both perks, because one of them is the long range rock perk, and then one where if you like rock them at range, it will stun them for longer. Yep. You can shield that ultimate off, by the way. If you put the shield above you, it will protect you for a bit until the shield breaks. So, or you can eat it with your eat, too. As long as you eat one of them, you're going to be in a good spot. Good job eating all that. Put your shield up now. Okay. The reason why I said put your shield up is because if you don't put your shield up, the Bastion could get a kill there. You don't put your shield up, and what happens? The Bastion kills the Torb. So that's why you do that. You did a good job of eating the initial shots, but I wanted to see you put are you lagging? You must have lagged or something there. I wanted to see you put your shield up and save your Torb. Especially in overtime. Ult right away. No reason to wait. Get the Ana. That's good enough. You got to shoot the Ana. You got to be lagging or something. That 100% is what happened. Yep, Brock. Nice job. I'm sorry, the Ramatra got stunned there? Okay. Nice. Behind you is a Moira. That's not your Moira, by the way, behind you. I want you to know that. I just so you know, the person behind you was not your Moira. That was their Moira, ulting your team. Now, obviously, it didn't matter, but I loved your reaction was not to even remotely react to anything the Moira was doing. That was amazing. One of the cool parts about this game is it's just such an easy fix for, like, the play style that, like, I already know where our advice will go. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, this is an easy fix on that side, you know? Okay, Winston jumping in. Break the bubbles ASAP. I mean, going against a Winston comp, I'm already like, I think you're in a good spot. So we'll see how your reaction is last time. Last time you had a unique play to that. So play to the corner to the right, and then reset there, and then you're good to go. You have 2 spots to reset at. Good kills by your team. Don't be afraid to. There it is again. See how I say that sometimes you look away from like their team, and like that could get you killed sometimes. It's not. That was an example of what I meant. Like you just turn away from them to kill somebody in front of you. Now you obviously already won. Your shield, by the way, you haven't dropped your shield in a while. Your shield is not regen. You need to drop your shield. You need to drop your shield. So you want to drop your shield so one, they don't break it, so it takes a little bit longer. Okay, you let your shield break. All right. You want to be a little bit more careful with that one, all right? Yep. But yeah, what I was saying is, like, you never block off, like, sleeps or damage to your left or, like, your right whenever you, like, go for someone. You get really tunnel vision. And I want you to kind of just use your shield as, like, a Zarya bubble when you do that to block off certain angles. That's how I usually approach it. Kimmy, thanks for the gift this up. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yep, Brock. There you go. His kills. And Melly, thanks for the 14 months of the tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it.
How often I'm yelling at my Sigma to drop their shield long.
Kimmy, thanks for another gift this up. Thank you. Okay, we want to make sure you're staying there, too. That shield's fine for now because you were blocking off the Ana heals. I think your team should just win this. Obviously, maybe something crazy happens. I would still be involved in the game and not just stand here AFK. I think playing the game would be good. Yep. You never know. Especially with the spawn that close. Thankfully, it looks like you're fine. No, Winston made it to point. And once again, I think you want to stay here. Just be careful of this. I think you're going to win. But don't put it up to chance. Okay, so overall, I feel like this was an interesting game for me because I watched you basically almost, you kind of just made swaps that didn't really make sense at the time because you thought like you were losing for certain reasons. And I think in reality, you kind of outplayed yourself at times. I think that's been like your major issue is you basically outplayed yourself. Like you had one bad team fight on Sigma on first point after holding it for 2 minutes, said, oh, I don't know if it was you were like, oh, I didn't get healed or like, oh, they did a bunch of damage to me. I can't play this hero. Then you swapped over to like 4 different heroes or 3 different heroes, fell over immediately, and then ended up backing on the tank that I said from the get-go, I'm like, Sigma's going to be fine here, and Sigma's what you want to play. And then you swapped off, and you end up winning the game by going back on Sigma. So here's the thing. Your problem is your positioning, okay? So here's what you're going to prioritize from now on if you want to keep improving as a tank. Cover, all right? You ready? Playing here is not ideal. Playing here is ideal. Why is playing this wall ideal? Because you have cover in places to fall back to. Whenever you play as tank, your option is to create space, and then when you need to fall back, you have escape routes, right? Like if I'm playing here, I know I can escape to this room. I know I can escape to this wall. This isn't my favorite spot, but I know I have multiple ways to escape. I can escape back to the car. I can wait on cooldowns. I can escape back to either the right or the left, dependent. Heck, if you need an extra second, you can go here. Do you see how I just gave you an escape route out of where they were, right? Or you go over here. Point being is that you have a bunch of cover, and the majority of this game, if not all of the game, your cover was, I'm going to stand in the middle of the open, and if my supports don't heal me, I'm going to fall over. And that's that. So get out of that happen. I think you're going to climb. I think you'll be just fine. But like that's why you're falling over as a tank. It's not because your hero selection is bad, like being on Sigma. It's because you're outplaying yourself by never playing cover. So start to prioritize cover, and that's why I always talk about positioning. You do that, I think you're going to be in a good spot. Straight up. I think you'll see a steady climb if you do something like that going forward with that. All right? So you got this. You absolutely got this. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to all the YouTubes if you haven't. Leave a comment. All of it helps. If you want to submit your own spectating, the description below has my Discord. That's where you do that. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat below the webcam. Also stream live on YouTube, so stop by if you haven't. We have a lot of fun here. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day/night.